Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt on the radio, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on talklawradio.com. Today we're going to be talking about real estate updates in San Antonio, in Texas, and everywhere. And Kasey Chenault is our guest.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes. So this is the show where we help you discover your legal issue blind spots by listening to me talk about the law on the radio. Even though we're talking about real estate, I'm not giving legal advice to people that I don't know or even see out there. So if you want real estate legal advice, you should call an attorney. But today we're just going to be talking about real estate in a general educational way.
Just topical.
And if you want to find out more about Kasey Chenault, you can go to KaseyLaneHomeGroup.com. That's KaseyLayne homegroup.com. That's your website,
Yes,
right?
that is my website, yes.
And what types of information can they find on that website?
So they can find anything from current listings to San Antonio military news to market updates to facts about me, facts about the market in general here in San Antonio. There's lots of great information on there. Okay.
Well, speaking about you, I wanted to ask you a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
So I am originally from Seattle, Washington. So I was born and raised in Seattle, Washington. And then about 24 years ago, I decided I wanted to take the journey from the Pacific Northwest to San Antonio, Texas. So I actually moved to Bandera, Texas first. That's where I had all my horses and did all the horse girl stuff. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I had my son, and I decided to trade my horses in for my son, which I think is a pretty good investment on that.
Yeah.
So, and then moved to San Antonio from Bandera, and I've been in San Antonio ever since.
Tell us how you got your start. What's your education?
So my education's from Incarnate Word, woo, go Cardinals, and then I was working in nonprofits for years and years and years. Director of development in local nonprofits here for children. Did that for many, many, many years. And my passion's always been in real estate. And a good friend of mine who also happened to be a boss at one of my nonprofits, she was also in real estate. So we just got to talking about it and just really struck up my passion in real estate. And when COVID hit and, everything kind of shut down and swirled around, I decided, why not now? So that's what I did, is dropped my life at that point and went into real estate because real estate was truly my passion.
So tell us what that's like for somebody that's new. What do you have to do to get started in real estate?
So first off, you will want to go to a real estate school like Champions. I went to Champions for real estate, and you pay for the courses. I think for the courses it's $2,000, let's just say overall, in a roundabout number. You take the courses that you need to complete for your license, and then you take a national test, a state test. You pass both of those tests, and then you get your license. But then at that point, that's just where the fun begins. Then you have to decide which brokerage you want to go to. And, each brokerage is so farly different in what they offer as far as, splits, education, training, whatnot, that you just have to find a brokerage that's right for you. But a lot of people don't realize also kind of how expensive real estate is as well, because we have dues, we have fees, we have brokerage fees. There's a lot of things that go into real estate other than just opening a door and selling a house.
Yeah, I wanted you to give us an idea of whether this is easy to get started with or is it difficult?
So it's very easy to get started as far as getting your license. However, you then now need to build up your book of business. So your friends, your family, your colleagues, your neighbors, your sphere, as what we call it, our sphere of influence, our SOI, and basically letting everybody know you are in real estate. But just because you let everybody know you're in real estate doesn't mean they're going to choose you to be their realtor. So getting started, a lot of people, I think we're at 87% of new agents within the first 2 years fail out and back out.
Wow.
So it's extremely hard
to stay in it.
It's because it takes up all of your time, all of your money. If you do not have at least, very least, 6 months worth of funds to cover your bills in your life, even I would say a year. If you don't have enough for a year to live off of, I would start saving now if you want to be in real estate.
Right. Well, that's so interesting that you had to go through all of those things. And I'm interested about your nonprofit work also. So I'll ask you about that at the very end of the show.
Sure, absolutely.
Because I'm interested in how you helped and what legacy you think that you left by doing that. But I also want people to call in if they want to.
Yes.
We're live today on Saturday, July 13th, 2024. And so if you want to weigh in on how the real estate market is going in San Antonio or Texas, call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. I'm here with Kasey Chenault with Kasey Lane Home Group, and she was just giving us some background on how she got started in real estate.
Yep.
And since we've been talking about how you got started, I wanted to talk about what's new in real estate right now. And so some people may be familiar with the lawsuit and the settlement against National Association of Realtors. Give us an idea of overview of what that settlement means.
So the settlement really started out of a lawsuit out of Missouri, and it was started by sellers feeling that they were led to believe that they had to pay for the buyer's commission. It wasn't so transparent to them that they had that opportunity or that ability to negotiate.
They didn't feel like it was a choice.
Sure. And so here in Texas, we're a little bit different with our laws. We've always been very transparent here in Texas. But because the NAR lawsuit went national, every state, every brokerage pretty much was affected by this lawsuit. So what it's basically saying is you have to be very upfront with sellers and with buyers about the commission process and what the commissions look like, and that all commissions are negotiable. Now, each individual agent will have their own, commission rate. So, you may find an agent who will do it for 1%, 1.5%. You'll find agents who will primarily do it for a 3% commission. Now, typically back in the day, and even still now, sellers would allot to pay the buyer's agent commission. And so then, therefore, that money came from the sellers. Well, now they're with the lawsuit. They're saying because the buyer's agent is working for the buyer, they shouldn't have to pay for it. Well, you don't.
But it's still something that can be negotiated.
Absolutely. So the thing is if you look at it, you have to look at it from two ways. If you're the buyer, you're coming up with down payment, minimum 3.5% of that home cost. You are now looking at closing costs, which are, around the same amount. And so now you're asking the buyer to pay for a 3% commission, let's say. So now they're coming up with 3 huge chunks when they were already struggling with 1 or 2. So when the buyers or the sellers used to, and they still do, say, hey, we'll give you the 3% for bringing in a qualified buyer. So now they don't get to have as much buying power as they did. And that just really limits them. And so with that, we want to kind of stress the importance of a buyer's agent so sellers know, hey, even though I'll be paying their commission, it's for a good purpose.
Great. We got to take a break, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law Radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.